Hi everybody, my name is Scott Walls. For over 25 years, I've deployed ERP applications for some of the world's largest organizations. During that time, I've taught thousands of people just like you how to discover, use, deploy, and support Oracle's back office software. In this lesson, I'm going to walk through the Catalogs application. I also sometimes refer to this as PNC or pre-negotiated content. We'll explain that as well. If you need more information on what the application does, see the application overview. Please note this lesson is part of the Catalogs course found within the Procurement functional area under the Discover menus. But before we get started, did you know that you could earn free Discovery badges for display on your LinkedIn profile just by watching videos like this one? You can. Stay until the end of this video and I'll show you how. Okay, so let's get started. First topic, seated user for this application. Second topic, navigation for this application. Third topic, the application homepage. Fourth, application transactions. Fifth and final, transaction search options, both basic and advanced. Now, before we jump into the application, it's just worth noting this is a Discover video, so it's really high level and just focused on what something does. If you want to learn how to use or how to deploy this application, watch the videos and/or courses under those menus. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the application. So first up, we said we'd talk about this seated user. So as you can see, I'm logged into Calvin Roth to take a look at catalogs. Calvin Roth is a procurement manager. You can see that in settings and actions. All right. Okay. So then next up, you can see I'm currently looking at Calvin's homepage. And so to navigate to the catalogs application, I want to go into the procurement functional area. Then I want to select the catalogs application. So when you get to the catalogs page, right, there's three different kinds of home pages. Straight into the transaction. Then you can get a transactional page where you look at dollars or statuses or transactions unfinished or things you need to learn to do or know about. And then you have a config value homepage, which is this, like this one, or like suppliers. And so it really just focuses in a very unsnazzy way. Here's things that are incomplete or things you need to pay attention to. So that's what you see here. Agreements pending authoring, catalogs with unavailable agreements, smart forms, etc. Right? So this particular catalogs is a little bit different. Again, I'm not trying to get into the application overview, or excuse me, the transaction overview. You can watch that video, but it is more than just a catalog per se, and you'll see that as we go through it. And you can kind of get that feeling here because it talks about agreements, and so these are necessary to get catalogs created, and then how you expose those to different content zones. All right, so that's the home page. Next up, let's talk a little bit about the transactions. And so when we want to find out the transactions, we'll go here to the task menu. This is a little bit simplified because there's no reporting per se. What you see is the recent, so it shows you any of the recent catalogs you've been in. You can search. And so now you'll see the different types of information or transactions that are available within this application: agreements, catalog, content zones, information templates, smart forms, shopping list. Okay, and then if you really want to see those, this is really where it's all about manage. And this is really manage and create, but the way that it's done, I can go into any of these different applications. So if I wanted to go into manage transactions, from within manage transactions, depending on the agreements, I can't. This just allows me to look at it. But if I went into catalogs, you'll see that I can actually create my catalog from in here as well. So create local, and there's three types of catalogs. There's a local, it's where I manage the item details. A punch, where I connect to a supplier who manages, or remote content management. And then this idea of an information catalog, which is really just a pointer to a URL. So that's a little bit of how you get to the transactions. You can go here through the task panel. All right. And then you can also create the transactions like we've seen here. So we talked about the seated user, how to navigate here, the home page, transactions. Now, lastly, let's just talk for a second about transaction search options. So we're in catalogs. We have basic and advanced search like we do most anywhere. And so now you'll start to see we're in the catalog section here, but this really applies a lot of the other, whether it's the smart forms, info templates, et cetera. And so you have a basic search here, but you do not have an advanced search. It means there's no additional fields. There's no way to save this view, et cetera, like you do, let's say, for negotiations, qualifications, any of the other transactions. So what you get is this to search with. If you want to search, you obviously can search on the other search in here as well. And then lastly, if you want to pop into any of these different areas, you can search on those. So these other options exist because they're all part of quantifying either directly what a pre-negotiated catalog or item is, or sometimes what we'll call structured content. So I have a smart form that hard codes this particular contract or agreement anytime we order. That's a request form in a smart form. So that isn't necessarily a catalog, but it is still pre-negotiated content. So that's why I will sometimes use PNC as a larger, more encompassing term than catalogs. So that's it. That's the seated user, the nav, the app homepage, the transactions, and then the basic and advanced search for the catalogs application. Hopefully you've learned something in this video, and thank you for watching.
Okay, as promised, here are the 5 steps you can perform today to start earning free badges for your LinkedIn profile. Step 1, navigate to Panameer.com and either sign in or join now. It's free. Step 2, in the upper left, under the Discover menu, select the course that you want to watch and get badged for. Step 3, watch all of the different video lessons in that course. Step 4, when it's complete, send your LinkedIn profile and the course you watched and your user ID to badges@Panameer.com. And then sit back and wait for step 5 when we attach a badge to your LinkedIn profile.